Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how you can triple your internet speed for free. Now to get started, you're only going to need 4 things. First, a Cat 5 or Cat 6 Ethernet cable of any length. Second, 2 AA batteries, preferably rechargeable because it will work better. And finally, electrical tape. Now there is some optional equipment that may increase your performance, but they are not required. The first is a SATA cable, and the second is an IDE cable, which looks like this. Again, these are not required, and we're going to talk about them afterwards. Now, the process of tripling your internet speed is not very difficult at all. The first thing you have to do is grab your Ethernet cable and find the ends, which shouldn't be much trouble at all. Pick one end and tape the battery about 3 inches from the end in either direction. It's important to use electrical tape because it conducts electricity. Here's the first battery. After you have the first battery on, you need to find the second end of the cable and make sure that you have the battery facing the same direction towards the end. So for example, the positive side was facing towards the end of this side of the cable, so the positive side must be facing the end of this cable side. So we're going to do the same thing using the electrical tape. Now you have a cable with 1 battery on each end. It may look strange, but I'm going to explain it shortly. If you have 2 more batteries, you could add them further down the line. One on this side, and another one on this side. More than 4 batteries total is not going to help you. It's diminishing return. Just ensure that the batteries are not touching each other. That's very important. Now that you have this strange looking cable, I'm sure you're wondering how it works. You see, there's a property of physics called magnetic induction, and this is what this cable takes advantage of. Almost all cables that you can buy are very limited in the bandwidth they can hold, and that has to do with resistance. Every single cable has what's called an internal resistance, but you can amplify the signal going through it using magnetic induction, which essentially states that if a magnetic field passes through a wire, it will create a current. Now, there are some cables that have extremely low internal resistances, but they're mostly used by your internet service provider itself, and they can cost thousands of dollars. They're mostly used for infrastructure, not in your home. You see, batteries have a low internal resistance, and they're also good at both creating and inducing a current. That's why they're the ideal component to attach to the cable. So when the signal comes from your ISP, which is using those expensive cables, and reaches your system, it's encountering a lot of resistance. So that's why we want to create a cable that is going to allow the full bandwidth through. In most cases, the standard cable will reduce the signal by a factor of 3. So that's why when you attach the battery, it will triple your internet speed. Okay, now I know what you've been waiting for. Let's go test this out at the computer and see how it performs. Okay, so here we are on speedtest.net. Let's do a preliminary test. This is before the cable that was upgraded is going to be used. So let's just see what the initial test is going to look like. Okay, it's bouncing around 2,000 kilobytes. So that's around maybe 15 megabits, as you can see. Alright, so that's what I usually get. And we'll wait for the upload to see what the upload looks like. And here we go for the upload. Alright, so it's bouncing around a little bit. Between 300 and 400 probably. Maybe a little bit more than 400. Alright, it's going up a little bit. Okay, so it's like 430 kilobytes for upload speed and download speed at 2,000 kilobytes. So I'm going to switch out the cable now, and we're going to check out after you upgrade the cable. Okay, so here we're going to do the test again. I've switched out the cable. As you can see, these are the previous results. So we're going to do a test again with the same server and see how it works out. I didn't record the ping. Oh, wow, look at the difference. Okay, so it's bouncing around 72. Okay, so it definitely more than tripled. I think triple would have been about 6, so we get a little bit better. And yep, about triple the upload speed as well. So we went from 2 to 7,
and 500 or 400 to about 1500. So it about tripled, as you can see.
Okay, so as you can see, there was a huge improvement with this new cable. So even if you don't triple your internet speed, it should at least increase drastically. Okay, now you may remember I was talking about optional components such as a SATA cable and an IDE cable. And you also probably remember a previous video I made where you could double your internet speed by wrapping two cables together to increase their surface area and therefore the internet speed that can be transmitted through them. So we're going to use the same principle here. All you have to do is tape the SATA cable alongside your Ethernet cable. You do not have to cut off the ends. It's totally unnecessary, so I wouldn't recommend doing that. You just tape them in place like this and you're good to go. You could also do the same thing for the IDE cable. You see, basically, IDE and SATA cables are specifically designed to transmit huge amounts of data, even more so than Ethernet cables. So when you combine the forces together, creating further magnetic induction between the cable and the other cable, it will seriously increase your internet speed. But if you don't have these cables lying around, don't worry about it. Alright, so that's all you need to know to triple your internet speed. So be sure to subscribe and follow me on all my social media websites like Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. All those links should appear right in front of you right now. And also, leave a comment to tell me how this worked and if it was a success for you, so you can let all the other people know as well. Finally, thanks for watching and see you till next time.